Hi everyone, my name is Aileen Wu and I am an Olympic weightlifting coach. This is my reaction to the 2020 Rogue Invitational Women's Clean and Jerk event. Here we go. All right, here we go. Saunders, 245 first attempt. Feet on the bar, hands on bar. Here we go. Doesn't really tighten up. Yanks it off the ground. Decently tight to her though. From here, she's getting ready for the jerk. Unlocks the knees, but she comes forward on the toes on the jerk. So when she's going for the jerk, for the dip, instead of being weight on the heels or midfoot, so you get the straight dip and drive, the bar can come up straight. She comes forward just a little bit so that when she extends, now the barbell's in front of her and she ends up losing it where? In front of her. So just that tiny little change in terms of being more on the heels, strong in this dip and drive, so that barbell can be over her and she can receive it easier. Just that little bit, she would have made that lift. Let's watch what happens on her second attempt. 16 seconds left, feet on the bar, very straight. I don't think she's wearing lifting shoes. Hands on the bar, rushes this, pulls off the floor very quickly. It pulls her forward. She wasn't tied off the floor. You notice the bounce also. She had to receive it forward. Here we go for the jerk. She's taking a moment and she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. Let's watch this slow. Why does she not have it? She's so strong. Second attempt at 245, feet under the bar. Notice she's looking where her feet are relative to the bar. I appreciate that. I don't think she's wearing lifting shoes. They look like Metcons, but I'm not sure. She's kind of getting herself set. Hands on barbell here. Getting under the barbell, but she's not looking for the point. So here we go. You already see that she's looking to get under the barbell and pick it up, but she hasn't tightened up to the barbell and she hasn't picked the point straight ahead that she's gonna look at. She just comes up under the barbell and here she's going to lift the bar. Notice that it pulled her right off the floor. It pulled her right off the floor. There was separation between her and the barbell from the start. Here we are just at knee sleeves and she's already coming under the barbell. She's a third of the way up her thigh and then she had to jump. She ends up bumping it, bouncing forward. So she had to jump forward to receive it. And you also see her in this compromised position. Her back is caved in. She's struggling with standing up with the clean. So when you don't receive the clean solid with the back straight and you can catch a bounce, it takes a lot of strength out of the athlete to have to pull that off. And here we go looking for the jerk. Takes a breath. Good in terms of midfoot placement on the bar. And she goes to stand up with it and she just knows she doesn't have the legs for it. I'm honestly really surprised because I understand she's coming off having a baby, but I just feel like if we clean this up a little bit in terms of feet under the bar, keeping the bar closer to her during the pull, she would have had more height and more pop on the barbell and it would have been closer to her on the receive. So she could have been solid on the receive, caught the bounce, and had a shot at that jerk. Toomey 245, feet under the bar, getting set, hands on bar. Doesn't tighten up, pulls it off the floor, but she's better pull than the 240. It keeps it closer to her, it doesn't rock her on the stand. And again, beautiful jerk, a little bit with the elbows there, but does a great job. Let's watch it slow. Toomey, feet under the bar, hands on bar, getting ready to lift. From here, she's pulling herself under the bar. She's looking for her spot, doesn't tighten up, but as she pulls up the barbell, you see a little bit of that jolt, but the back angle doesn't change. Here we are at above the knee. Again, as before, the knees slack off a little bit too much, and you can tell because you see all the separation between her and the barbell. But she pulls it back towards her, so the hips don't come forward as much, finishes it up with this great shrug high pull, but you do notice she jumps forward just a touch on the receive because she has to because of that separation at above the knee. Stands up with the clean, you get that pop. Notice her feet come in for the jerk. Getting tight here, getting mentally set. Let's see what the dip looks like. Weight on the heels, straight down, straight up, beautiful drive. Not quite ready for the push under. You see it jolt her just a touch. And because of that, her back leg has to come forward to make sure she's stable over the bar instead of front foot, back foot. It also looks like she short stepped that a little bit. And what happens when you short step the jerk a little bit is the bar ends up being forward relative to you because you don't push yourself forward in front of the bar enough. So I'll explain what that means. So what you'd like to see with the jerk is you'd like to see this straight dip in terms of weight on the heels, straight down, straight up, so the barbell can come up straight. If you roll forward on your toes for the jerk, when you extend, the barbell can come up here, and then from here it's just too far in front. It's not over you, so you have to shoot under it or you have to step forward to be under the barbell. But what can happen when you short step is from here, let's say I go for the dip and drive for the jerk. I dipped well, the barbell comes up straight, but notice my feet. I'm gonna put this front foot not that far forward, and then I'm trying to not move this PVC pipe, and my back leg shoots out. So even though I did a good job for the dip and drive, where am I relative to the barbell? It's in front of me, right? As opposed to this great dip, great drive, barbell comes up straight. I step out further with the front foot. I don't overshoot the back leg, and it's straight over my body, over my system, and then you recover front foot, back foot. So a little bit of a short step, but still a beautiful jerk. Tia-Clair Toomey, 245. Laura Horvath, 245, feet on the bar, hands on bar. Notice feet very straight on the bar. She's measuring her hands to the barbell. Here we go. She's getting under the bar, doesn't get tight before she picks it up, but she's solid in her positioning. You still see that she doesn't generate a lot of momentum and acceleration past the knees, but she does a great shrug, high pull. Here we go for the jerk. Great dip in terms of staying on your heels, driving that barbell straight up, gets a lot of drive coming out of that jerk, pushes herself under that barbell, receives it very well. Let's watch it slow. Feet under the bar, feet straight ahead, hands on bar. Measuring her hands relative to the barbell, making sure they're centered and in the same place each and every time. Really important, hands and feet. Don't love the feet super straight ahead like I said before. They even look like they're coming in a little bit. So here she goes, hands on bar, kind of getting herself a little set, trying to figure out what's gonna happen. It's kind of also this nervous tick that athletes have when they're going to do this heavy lift. They're like triple checking their grip, kind of getting mentally set before they get ready to pull the bar up off the floor. So here she goes, getting her hair out of the way. Doesn't really tighten up, but she's looking straight ahead. But notice she picks up the barbell off the ground. There's no slack. Here we go at above the knee. Note the separation like we saw last time. Knees come back a little bit too much. Pick the barbell up, and here, notice how straight the legs are, and they slack off a little bit too much. So we had separation before, we have even more separation now. I don't love this position for the clean because when your feet are straight like that, you end up losing that tension and you end up losing your power. But back is straight, arms are straight. Let's see what happens. And notice her hips have to come forward and scoop under that barbell, and she ends up bumping it a little bit, and you can see the barbell go straight out in front of her. So here we go. When the knees are slacked off straight, you lose your power, and the bars end up out here. And just like before, she ends up having to scoop under here and ends up bumping the barbell up. She bumps the barbell up and shrugs and then gets under. I don't love how far in front of her this barbell is, and I would like to see more of this elbow action in terms of pulling it up. It gives you an extra 1 or 2 inches. It's relative, right? It's not exact 1 or 2 inches, but it gives you more height to get under the barbell. But she's so strong. She jumps forward, receives the barbell, no problem. Stands up with the barbell. Again, not an issue for her at this weight. Barbell's up, you get that pop from the clean. She adjusts her grip kind of, or just recatches the bar. From here, she's getting set, getting tight. Let's look at this drive. Oh, it does bring one foot in a little bit. Brings the elbows down just a touch. Here we go, breathing, getting ready, getting mentally set. What does the drive or the dip look like? Weight on the heels, knees come out a little shaky, comes forward just a touch in terms of the weight on the foot, but does a great job driving that barbell up. A little bit short step, but she makes up for that by pushing her chest forward so that as a system she's under that barbell and the barbell is straight over her and recovers front foot, back foot. Nicely done. Amanda Barnhart, 245. Let's check out this clean. Feet on the bar, hands on bar, doesn't tighten up, but looks straight ahead. Does a great job keeping it close. Gets great height on the bar as always. Feet a little more wide than I'd like for the jerk. Comes forward just a touch, and you see it like it, so, okay. Weight on the foot comes forward just a bit on the dip for that jerk, ends up pushing it forward, doesn't really drive her feet down under the barbell. It's like she doesn't want to push herself down under the barbell. She wants to kind of stay legs straight up, which doesn't super make sense to me because you tend to see this with athletes who don't have the leg strength, and so they get around that by just not driving their body down so they don't have to use their legs to push it up again, because it's easier to be passive with your legs straight. But let's watch it slow. Let's see what happens. So Amanda Barnhart, 245, feet on the bar, hands on bar. Doesn't tighten up before she goes, but she's looking straight ahead. Notice how close the barbell is to her. It does pull her forward on her feet a little bit at the start of the clean, but she's in a decent position here at barbell right above knees. In terms of her back is straight. Her system isn't too far pulled forward. It's pulled forward just a touch, but look how close it is to her. And she extends up and back, finishes it up with this big shrug, high pull, receives it way above power position, is strong on the receive, catches the bounce, stands up. So she's pulling on that barbell the whole way, meets the bar where it's at, and then catches the bounce on the stand. I love that part of her pull. You get that bounce from standing up with the clean. She receives the barbell. She's getting ready for the jerk. I don't know why she keeps her feet wide. She would get more drive if she brought them in more narrow. And from here, she's getting mentally set, ready for this dip and drive for the jerk. Dips, weight comes forward on the foot. You see it here. You see the knees come in a little bit too. She's pushing off a little bit with her toes a little much. Note how far forward in front of her that barbell is. And just like before, she has to receive back foot front in order for the barbell to be over her so she doesn't lose the barbell ahead. We can talk about that a little bit more. So when Amanda Barnhart is going for her jerk, from here, she comes forward just a touch, and I'm gonna exaggerate, but the knees come in, exaggerating greatly, just so you guys can see it, but it's not this balance, knees out, weight over the heels, weight over midfoot for this drive. So she comes in, knees come in a little bit, she's on her toes, and she ends up doing this. The barbell ends up coming forward, and she short steps it, and she keeps her arms straight and ends up having to push it straight up as opposed to driving her legs down under the barbell. So here she is, legs straight, and in order to keep the barbell on top of her and be balanced, she has to step forward so the barbell stays in front of her. Because if she's here and she's already struggling because the barbell's in front of her, if she were to receive forward, the barbell's even more in front of her. So that's what ends up happening. She has to step forward. A little more drive, weight more on the heels for the dip so the bar can come straight up, and learning how to push the body and the system down under the barbell as opposed to pressing the barbell out. But you know, big lift, good clean and jerk for Amanda Barnhart, 245. Thanks for watching this part of my reaction to the 2020 Rogue Invitational Women's Clean and Jerk event. If you'd like the video, please like and subscribe below. For any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. If you'd like to work with me to improve your Olympic lifting, check me out at www.wulift.com. We got more of this coming for you soon. Thanks guys, have a great day. Okay. Look how quiet it is. Wow. Don't jinx it.